as well.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We've got Kieron Rummage around in tonight. Thanks for joining, Kieron. Really appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. We all okay?
So we'll just kick it off then, Kieron. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into reselling.
Oh, well, I used to be a farmer, then I left farming, and then I'll do this now full time. Got into reselling by just watching other YouTubers, and I was doing it when I was 12 on and off with my dad, like buying and selling video games. I think a lot of young boys used to do that, didn't they? You know, flipping it to your friends and stuff, and Pokemon cards and stuff like that. But yeah, and
No.
you can see Becky in the background.
Hi, Becky. Did you enjoy farming? How long were you farming for?
Enjoyed it, yes, but it was long hours. But I did it for about 6 years now. I think 6, 7 years.
Quite a while then.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah.
But it's good now. It's good. Prefer being my own boss.
Yeah, definitely. There's plenty of benefits to being your own boss. Just going to jump in the chat very quickly. So we've got Lisa in. Hi, everyone. We've got Sharon. Hi, Sophie and Kieron. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining. We've also got Limelight Vinty. Thank you very much for joining. And we've got a wee piece of Junie. Hiya. Thanks so much for joining. Everyone is freezing cold by the looks of it. I'm freezing cold, actually. I've even got the heating on, but I'm still freezing. We've also got Santa in from the North Pole. Hi, Santa. Be getting very busy soon. And we've got Derek, Tap Peddler. Hi, thanks so much for joining. And we've also got the Luxury Pickers in. Hello, thank you so much for joining. So, we've also got SJ Cartier in. Sam, thanks so much for joining. So, Kieron, just tell us a little bit about Bidding Wars, kind of how that came about, what kind of went down.
Didn't think that would come up. They approached me on Instagram, and then they had to do a load of background checks and stuff. And then they found my YouTube channel through that, and then they liked the sort of energy that I could bring to the table as such. But once we were there, it was a little bit kind of PC, they didn't really want us to be too energetic, but it was still, I really enjoyed it. I don't know what the ratings were as such after the show, but the show was good for a lot of reasons, meeting other people that do this as well.
Yeah.
All about networking, isn't it? So it all has its benefits, I guess. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Nerve-wracking at start because obviously I've never done anything like that before, but once you've done the first couple of days, it's easy. Yeah. But you're constantly strapped to the microphone for 14, 15-hour days. It was long days.
Oh, really? Do they very long days. Everything that you say as well?
Say again, sorry?
Are they recording everything that you say as well? Yeah. You've got to be quite careful what you say too.
Even when you had lunches, dinners, because we'd get there for breakfast, and they'd have breakfast with us, but we'd have to keep our mics on. We'd have lunch with them, we'd have dinner with them, and then we wouldn't finish until 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, and then but you'd be strapped to a microphone literally all the time you were there, even if you just want to go to the toilet.
I was about to say, what?
Yeah, no, honestly.
The toilet,
yeah, it's crazy.
I think I'd have to just talk over the microphone while I was on the toilet the whole time. Or put some landing paper down or something like that.
Yeah. But if anyone does get approached, it's definitely for anything like that, because at first you're a little bit skeptical, but it's definitely worth a go, because it's not every day you get an Instagram message saying, do you want to come on Channel 4? Because you instantly think, oh, this is a scam or something.
Yeah,
but as long as you do your background checks on the person, and that it was well worth doing for sure.
Good.
I'd do it again, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So your YouTube channel, Kieron, it's pretty successful, and you've obviously uploaded a video just earlier, haven't you?
Yes.
So tell me kind of how you find YouTube? Like, how do you find balancing kind of reselling, YouTube, family life, things like that?
At first, it was very, very difficult. But now that I've done it for like 2 and a bit years, I think, I've now got in a rhythm of what I need to do when I need to do it. It does. I do find, especially with Vlogmas, because I'm doing Vlogmas as well, you end up spending a lot of time recording and not a lot of time actually doing the work. So it's just trying to find that, especially this time of year, because a lot of YouTubers like to do Vlogmas because X, Y, and Z reasons. I'm still struggling now, even at Vlogmas, to be honest, finding the time. But you'll always make time for the people that you want to make time for, right? So there's 24 hours in a clock in a day, isn't there? So I will probably be working until 12, 1 o'clock at night every day, like to the run up of Christmas, because the Vlogmas takes a lot of your time editing and like recording. But if you get yourself in the mindset that that's what you're going to do for the month, you then know you're in for a busy month. But
and did you say you're doing Vlogmas this month?
Yeah,
you are doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm not doing it, one, because I don't really have the time to do it because I'm still working as well. So it's kind of really difficult for me to fit that in. And I don't think I'd be able to generate enough content. And thirdly, I just can't be asked, to be quite honest.
I don't blame it. I did it last year as well. And not only is it busy because obviously it's Q4 and sales should be banging for everybody, but then when you chuck in YouTube in there as well, it's mega busy. But once I finish Vlogmas on Christmas Eve, I think I will stop doing YouTube until the new year. Give myself a week's break, and then I'll get back onto it. Like it's 7 days in. I've done 7 videos in 7 days. Doesn't sound a lot, but once you factor in like getting content for the videos, I'm trying to mix it up a bit as well.
Yeah.
It's tiring. It is tiring.
Yeah.
It's not exactly easy. But like I said, there's 24 hours in a day, so you'll make it work if you want to make it work, and you'll make time for the people that you want to make time for, like my family and friends, and etc. etc.
Yeah, definitely. Although it is a lot, because it's not just getting the content; it's like editing as well, and adding little bits, and then doing other posts on things like your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever else to try and get people to actually watch the video too. Like, there's lots of things like around it too, so it does take up an awful lot of time.
Yeah, for sure.
How have you found your Q4 so far, Kieran?
I think it's an unfair reflection compared to last year. I think it's worse than last year, but this year I've decided to put a lot of time into Amazon because I want to spread my eggs in multiple baskets. So I think this week alone, I think I've probably spent like $2,500 on Amazon stock, but to source that stock takes a lot of time, and that time I would be using to list on eBay. But without it, it's a bit slow this year because I think I'm concentrating more on getting stock for Amazon ready for the new year more than anything, because I've never done Amazon before. So, well, I have, but not to the extent that I'm doing it this month and next year going forward, because it's something that I think if we can crack it with the community that we've got on eBay and YouTube, I think there's a lot of money to be made for everybody. So
definitely. I found, this is my first Q4 because I only started reselling in January this year, so this is like my first Q4. And everyone, like before, like obviously well earlier in the year, was like, "Oh, you wait till you get to Q4, it's going to be buzzing, blah blah blah." And I haven't really found it quite as buzzing, and I think a lot of that is due to obviously the Royal Mail strikes. People wouldn't have known about that earlier in the year. Now we've got a cost of living crisis as well. So I think unfortunately my first Q4 probably isn't representative of most Q4s.
I think, and like you hit the nail on the head there, like with the energy bills going up and the crisis happening, I don't think people can afford to buy a lot of Christmas presents or a lot for the family, but then also you would have thought people might not be able to afford new, so the next best thing would be buy used, but that doesn't seem to be happening either. So I just think everyone's in limbo, and I think this year alone, I think this Christmas I've probably had the worst offers I've ever had in my life on products. Like the offers are so stupid, it's like it's not even worth selling. So there is probably people out there that are struggling, unfortunately, and and it will hurt us, but we just got to find ways of, as a community, and to help each other, ways in fulfilling that. And I still believe Amazon might be the next big thing. Well, not the next big thing, because obviously it's massive, but there isn't that many people that do Amazon.
No. Are you planning on just selling like new and sealed stuff on there, or like used stuff as well? You just kind of putting everything on there?
So I've sort of like learned a lot recently with a guy. I don't know if anyone knows, but there's a guy who called Sam. Sam used to be quite hot in the community about a year ago, and he's taught me a lot of things. But he said stick with the new stuff for now while you get going, and then once you start getting ungated and products and stuff, then you can start selling used stuff. It's a little bit of the problem with Amazon. It's a lot of background work first, and then you reap the benefits further down the line. So but that I didn't do Amazon a month ago. I'm predominantly eBay, Depop, and Vinted. I just want to keep adding to the boat. That's the only way you're gonna become mega successful. You could become successful on just eBay on your own if you wanted to, but if you spread, I found things sell better on Depop and Vinted and eBay and Amazon. You know what I mean? Like, you're better off spending a little time in like at the start, and then you'll reap the benefits in the future.
100%. And I think people seem to do differently on different platforms, don't they? Like for me, like Depop, I stopped listing on there because I only got sales once in a blue moon. Like it just wasn't worth it for me. But then if my eBay's down, sometimes my Vinted kind of picks up the slack. I'd say I'll probably get like maybe 60-40, like 60 eBay, 40 Vinted. Like it's pretty split, to be fair. But yeah, everyone's kind of like a bit different, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think it's the same as like going back to like certain people can sell brands better than others. Like it's the same sort of scenario in it with the marketplaces.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to jump back in the chat very quickly, Kieron, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
So we've got Tam and Bell Cell. They're just editing their Vlogmas one for tonight. Wee Piece of Junie, she's recorded a couple of videos for her first mimicking the reseller series. I did say she could mimic me if she wants to. I don't know if that is me, actually. And she's going to edit them now, so we shall see who that one is.
Mimic me if you want as well.
What do you think she'd do as a mimic? Just like your ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs?
Yeah, maybe. Just do that. I'd love to see. If anyone does do that, like Instagram me, and I'll.
And she might have to put an Arsenal shirt on as well, just to make it like believable.
I'd love a little mimic. That'd be funny.
She's also got a question for you, actually, Kieron. So, what got you into reselling in the first place, and what was your first purchase to sell on eBay?
It was I've done it since I was 12, on and off. So when I was a young lad, basically my mum and dad told me that if I wanted the new Xbox, I had to buy it out myself. So I went onto eBay, and I thought I'll try and buy and sell some video games to afford the Xbox. So I think the first buy was probably an Xbox 360, like an Xbox bundle that I would have split up and made money that way. What got me into it was just purely because of that. Like my dad's he's ex-forces, so he's very like, if you want to do this, you've got to get it yourself, sort of thing. So like he's very bish bash boss. He's very like stern. So if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be where I was now, as in because he's made me work for he's made me work for stuff that I've wanted, and now I do that as such and work for myself. But that's probably what's got me into reselling in the first place. And the first purchase was probably an Xbox bundle, which I would have split up and probably just doubled my money. But if you do that every day, you soon make a lot of money as such. Not like I've made a lot of money at all, to be honest, but we're still floating.
Yeah, you're making enough. You're doing all right. You still got a roof over your head.
Yeah.
Belle's in as well. Thanks, Belle, for joining. We've got Emma in as well. Evening all. Emma's near me. We're going to meet up in the new year, which will be cool. Just scrolling down a little bit. Oh, no, you lost it then. And we've got James Bolfines in. Thank you so much for joining, James.
Hi, James. How you doing, mate?
Everyone's saying hello. So, Kieron, I'm just going to play like a bit of a quick fire round, if that's okay with you.
Oh,
so,
God.
you basically just have to say the first answer that comes into your head. So, I'm going to ask you like this or this, and you've just got to say like the first one that comes into your head.
Okay,
You ready?
Okay, I'll give it a go. Let's go.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
YouTube or Instagram?
Ooh, Instagram. Ah!
Chazzers or car boots?
Car boots.
Summer or winter?
Summer, all day long.
Shoes or clothes?
Shoes.
Savoury or sweet?
Save you.
Save you.
Save you. I was going savoury. We'll go savoury.
You're like, save me. Spaghetti hoops or beans?
Beans. Where's
White bread, brown bread?
White bread.
eBay, Depop?
eBay.
Vinted, Amazon?
Amazon.
Nice. There you go. That's your quick round done. That's all I can think about.
Did I do it successfully apart from the save me?
Yeah, apart from save me.
Save. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to say sweet, but then I like savoury. Oh, well. We got there.
Got there. So what do you find the hardest thing about being a full-time reseller?
Is that with doing YouTube or just as a reseller?
Just like as a reseller, really.
Okay, excluding YouTube, probably the hardest thing is probably getting out of bed.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to get out of bed, and whether we like it or not, you don't have to get out of bed because you don't have a boss to answer to, blah blah blah. So that is probably the hardest thing I'd say for any reseller. You just got to be like self-discipline. It's got to be like top notch. Honestly, I struggled with that for many years, for like a year and a half when I first started going full time. I struggle now, but I think it's because it's Vlogmas, so I'm trying to I feel like I'm more awake than anything, and
it's cold outside as well.
And you snuggle in, don't you?
Yeah.
And we have double quilt, like we have 2 quilts, and it's just like you don't want to get out of that bed. No, 2 quilts snuggled in, beautiful.
And is your partner a reseller as well?
Yeah.
And is she full time or?
No, part time.
Part time. Which
is a good thing because I can imagine if you didn't have a reseller partner, you'd probably, because we all get excited, don't we, when we find stuff in the charity shop and the car boots, and we come back with 2, 3, 4 IKEA bags. And like, I could imagine if you didn't have a partner that wasn't into it, they'd probably think, what the flipping hell are you bringing all that crap into the house? Whereas like having a partner that's in that, they get excited with you, don't they? So it's a good thing. Right?
Yeah, it is a good thing actually. Because I struggled to even get my partner into the flat, to be quite honest. even walk through the door now. So
yeah, fair enough.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
So how do you find, like, obviously because you are like a full-time reseller, do you ever kind of worry about things like, oh God, like, I'm not going to be able to hit the bills this month, I'm not going to be able to hit rent or mortgage or whatever? Like, do you have any kind of backup plans for
that? No.
I
mean, I've never really thought about it, if I'm being brutally honest, never thought about not being able to afford that, because I will try and make it work, and I'll try and make as much money as possible. Like, I think if you have that mentality, you will succeed. Like, if you are going to, wake up every morning and go, I'm going to make money today, you will make money today. So like, I've never really got out of bed and thought, I need to pay this bill. Like, because when I first started, I'd saved, which is a big thing that I say all the time. Like, if you are looking to go full time, make sure you save at least 3 to 6 months of bills.
Yeah.
Just in case you have a month where you're a little behind targets or whatever, and at least that way you've got 6 months behind you from like savings. Like, that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it's helped massively. That's one of the biggest things I've always said. If you're ever looking to do it full time, make sure you have 3 to 6 months wages saved just in case, because it's not easy.
No.
It's not hard either. It's hard in other things, and it's easy in another thing. It's just you've just got to be able to balance it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some things that I find hard is like, I don't know whether you get this as well, but like, say if you've been to like charity shops, car boots, something like that, like you buy a load of stuff, and then maybe 5-6 items out of that might sell quite quickly, and then the rest of it kind of like sits,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just like, oh, and then you do it again, and then again, and then again, and obviously now you've got like 4 boxes full of stuff that might sell, might not sell. Like,
I've got about 56 boxes that I haven't sold, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. I've got about 56 80-litre boxes full of that stuff that hasn't sold that quickly. But
yeah, I
I
don't have like, because I know obviously you've got like a storage unit as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
And so I've literally just got like a 1-bed flat. So my living room is divided into like warehouse and living room kind of thing. So I've got like one half of my living room just has got boxes and all sorts everywhere, and then the other half is where I sit and watch telly. But yeah.
So I've got a question for you then. Would you consider getting like a unit to put your boxes in? I
would. I'm not quite there yet, I don't think. I went through a stage like earlier in the year where I was consistently making them out every single week, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm doing it, and then like kind of the cost of living announcements came, and everything kind of started to dwindle down a little bit, and I literally was like about to take one out, and then I had a couple of weeks of kind of poor sales, and I was a bit like, oh, like actually, am I ready for this just yet? I mean, worst case scenario, I mean, like I'm still working, so I could always pick up an extra shift to like, balance that out to kind of pay for the unit. But at the same time, that's not really what I want to be doing. I don't really want to be working more and more at work to have to pay for, a space.
Would you ever consider going full time if your numbers were more consistent? Then is that what your aim is, to try and get it full time?
Yeah, I'm hoping to go full time. I mean, like when I had like that successful spell like earlier in the year, and I thought, oh my god, like by the end of the year, like I could be full time, like I could do this, but it's kind of really slumped a bit for me. So I'm thinking maybe by the end of next year, possibly like, be full time. I'm having the whole of January off, so I can kind of focus on my reselling.
Yeah.
So I saved up, like I basically saved up all my eBay money, so I had enough for like rent and bills covered because I don't get like holiday pay at work.
Okay.
So I can have like the whole month off. And just
holiday.
And just focus on just on my little business and reselling and things and how I'm going to grow it and take it further.
That's a good point as well. Like people don't. Some of my friends especially don't see this as a business, but it is a business. Like, you don't just buy and sell it. You've got to build a brand behind it. You've got to build business behind it. You've got to network with each other. It is a business, and it's kind of scary to think once that jump is from part-time to full-time is very, very scary. But I'm sure you can do it.
I'm hoping so. Like I'm pretty determined.
Yeah.
But, we'll have to see. Just kind of see how things like pan out, really. But yeah, I like 6 months ago, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, by the end of this year, I'm going to be full time. Like, is going that way. But
Yeah.
it's kind of had a little bit of a slump. So just kind of have to see what the new year holds, really. And
why do you think that is? Why do you think it's
I think
a slump?
I think a lot of it is kind of cost of living, because I spoke about like it with girls at work, and they were like, to be fair, I'm just not buying anything at the moment. And I was like, oh yeah, kind of, why is that? And they were like, well, I don't really know what I've got now, or I don't really know what I've got spare, or blah blah blah. And they're just like, I'm just not buying like anything, like regardless of what it is. So I think that's some of it.
It's scary to hear that, isn't it? Because like it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I think that's some of it, and also like postal strikes as well. I think people are put off buying online at the moment.
I've got a question for you then. With the postal strike, I don't know. Am I allowed to give you questions?
Yeah, of course you can.
I didn't know if you were going to nail me for an hour. With the postal strikes and being part-time, are you looking to shut up shop early this year, or are you going to just carry on until Christmas Eve or whatever?
No, I think I'm literally just gonna keep it open.
Fair.
I spoke to like a couple of people and they're on about shutting, but to me personally, I mean, you might have a different view on this, but to me personally, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to shut, but because it's kind of like the busiest time of the year still. People are going to they might get money for Christmas or whatever, or vouch, whatever it is, and then look to buy after Christmas. They might look to buy again, in the New Year's. People do have birthdays in January as well. So, I don't know. For me personally, I don't see the point of shutting unless you've got another take on that.
For me personally, no, because I don't use Royal Mail at all. I'm not a massive fan of Royal Mail, if I'm being brutally honest. So it doesn't really affect me whatsoever. But I will probably go until about the 21st, 22nd, just so that I can have some time off. Because like Jack's been rinsing me in the chat, as Jack says. Kieron just wants an excuse to shut up shop and go on holiday again. Like, right, 100%. If I don't have to work, I will go on holiday. Like, but yeah, we'll probably go until the 21st ish. I think, just to give yourself, break before Christmas and then a break after Christmas.
Yeah, no, I'm just keeping mine open because, the thing is, because I'm a nurse, I'm going to be working, Christmas, New Year's, everything anyway. Like, it doesn't really make any difference to me having it open or not, because I don't think I've had a Christmas off in years anyway. So it's not like, it doesn't make an awful lot of difference to me.
That's good.
We've also got Bargain Hunter UK in. Thanks so much for joining. Jack Dobbins, thank you so much for joining.
No, I don't thank him.
What's all this?
Vinny, mate, you've not seen me on a live for ages, have you, mate? I'm here. Vinny, I'm here.
And June's got another question for you. Have you bought anything that has ended up being a flop, and what was it?
I think as a whole, I don't have that many flops, but what I would say is I've had like wholesale flops, as in you get product, because I buy a lot of wholesale because I sell a lot on Depop, and there has been some flops on the wholesale, but you just return them, or you get a refund and so on and so forth, or you just try and salvage what there is there, because at the end of the day it is wholesale, so you need to expect that there isn't going to be all the Berghouses and Nikes and hoodie. You know what I mean? Like, there is going to be the odd thing. Like, I've just opened.
It can be a bit of a lucky dip, really, can't it? If you get wholesale.
I've just done a wholesale video for a company today, and it's 60% I will sell individually, and 40% is what people would say like flops, but there's people out there that make businesses like, you know, selling Next stuff and new look stuff, and you know, it's just the way how you run your business. But I've not had a flop as in like I've not purposely gone out and brought something without thinking it's going to make me money. Or apart from like electronic stuff, because you never know when you're out in the field if they're going to work anyway. So if you want to talk about that, then yeah, I've had a few flops, you know, buying VHS players or whatever because they've not worked.
Yeah.
But you kind of expect that because you're always going to have that problem out in the field. You're not going to be able to in a field. But what I would say is regarding that again is if you are buying electronic stuff in the field, always look at the spares and repairs value just in case it doesn't work, because then you know if it's say spares and repairs value is 20 quid, you know that if you spend £10, you're not going to lose money.
Yeah.
Always look for spares and repairs value in the field for sure. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
You kind of have to like accept that you carry the risk, don't you? Basically, when you buy electronics at like car boot or whatever, you kind of just have to accept that the risk is on you.
Yeah, I agree.
Kieran doesn't count boxes unlisted; he counts storage units unlisted.
You're not wrong. I think I've got maybe 2 units that are just not listed yet.
Did you get through some of that stuff in your last video? Because you had that massive clock, didn't you? Have you listed that?
No, the clock. I have been in talks with an antique shop about the clock, because when I first looked at the auction, because I brought out a unit on eBay. When I first looked at the clock, I didn't think it was that big, and I said, "I'll just ship it, right?" But it's like 7 foot freaking tall. It's so tall. I'm thinking, So I'm trying to work a deal with somebody that has like a van and has an antique shop, because I think they'll be able to sell it better than I will. But it's not listed because I'm in talks with selling it privately.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful clock, and it's probably worth about 1,500 quid. Like they are on Etsy for around that. Or I might pallet it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I am that, if believe it or not, Jack, because I know it was you that said that. Believe it or not, Jack, all that unit we brought is listed. The whole unit.
Wow.
Yeah, that is impressive for me. So I'm going to take that.
That's crazy. Yeah. James, no, raffle isn't tonight. It's on the 21st. So I'm going to draw it on my live on the 21st. There's a video on my YouTube that's posting what is up for grabs, basically. So there's like a bundle of jeans, there's sportswear tops, there's Nike tops, there's trainers, there's Pokemon stuff. So you can watch the video, and if you want any tickets, it's £1 a pop, and you can just DM me on Instagram for the Christmas raffle. Limelight says, Kieran, is there anything you don't buy?
A lot of questions tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a fan of ceramics or bric-a-brac because it's not in your hand, is it? You can pack it as much as you want and put a load of bubble wrap and shredded cardboard, whatever you do, you're not in control of it getting to your customer in one piece. If I do sell any ceramics, it's got to be at least like £25 plus to make it worth my time. So probably that, if I'm being honest, is probably the things I wouldn't. It's not like I don't buy it, but if it's like less than 25 quid, even if it would cost me £1 to buy, I still probably wouldn't pick it up because I just can't be bothered with it.
It's not, isn't it? And
it's not only like you've got to pack it, you've got to like deal with customers if it's arrived damaged. You know what people are like. Some people are just
and
I think
you never really know with it either. Like I packed off on Vinted like a utensils ceramic, like utensils pot. And I put bubble wrap all around it, paper on the inside, boxed it, the lot, and thought, yeah, that's sound, that is. And then she sent me a picture of it. It just got totally like smashed. But then I've sent out some other stuff which was far more fragile than that. and literally done the same and had like no issues. So I think it depends who decides to lob it. And
yeah, exactly. You're not in control with it, are you? So like it's so hard. If I had to choose things that I would never buy ever again, it would be ceramics or bric-a-brac for sure, Limelight for sure, because I'm more of a person that likes clothing and trainers and video games and stuff. You know, clothing and trainers where is what I've sort of like home in now. But you literally just lob it in a mailing bag and you don't have to worry about it. It's not going to get smashed, is it, or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, I
Anything
like clothing and shoes and things like that as well. It's just easier as well, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And I only really get bric-a-brac if I'm like mega skint. If I've literally got like a tenner on me and I'm like, right, what can I pick out with this tenner?
It's always cheap as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the only time I ever get bric-a-brac is if I'm like, I need like to get rid of this tenner and that's all I've got. And I need to be able to, try and turn it into say like, 50, 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't always go that well though, to be fair.
No, it probably gets smashed halfway through.
Yeah. Kieran, when you going full time? That's from Mr. G.
Maybe next year, Vinny. Could you imagine if I wasn't full time? People think I've got a hoarding issue now, but imagine if I was part time with the amount of stock I've got.
At least you've got an excuse for it, haven't you? Being full time. Oh, I'm just a reseller,
Exactly. I mean, I'm sitting here. I've positioned myself perfectly so you can't see the crap behind me. That's a true story.
I kind of like cover mine as well. Like if I go, oh no, yeah, it's still covered. Even if I do that, actually.
I'm not doing that because it is literally on my table. So I'm just going
to. Vinny says keep the shop open. Worst case, increase dispatch time and go on holiday mode. So sales still coming at least, not stales.
I mean, it would be it'd be nice to get some sales today, Vinny. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I've had a bit of an issue lately, actually. I have been selling stuff, but no one's been paying for it. That's been my issue this week.
I've had a few of them, and again, I think it goes back to like people not realizing how much money they've got to spend because of energy prices going up and whatever. Like people think they've got more money than they actually do. And I think people are like getting a bit trigger happy. They're buying things and thinking, "Oh shoot, I can't actually afford that." But at least the worst thing you can do is just drop a message saying, "Sorry, I can't afford it." Blah 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 blah. Because I'm still waiting on a couple now, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
I mean, I sold like my old iPhone SE for like, I think it's about 130 odd quid. I sold it for, and then I had a message saying after they clicked, to buy it, saying, "Oh, sorry, I've just realised the bill's come out. Can you do it for like 100?" And I was like, "Well, you've already clicked to buy it now, so I can't really." And then they were like, "Oh, just give me a couple of hours. I just got to go to the bank. And can you bear with me?" And I said, "Yeah, fine. I can bear with you." So I left it all day because I was at work anyway, still not paid for. So I sent another payment reminder the next day, still not paid for. And I thought, you're just not going to buy this. So I just cancelled it and relisted it. So, something like an iPhone at Christmas, like I can't really have off the shelf because someone can't make their mind up about it.
Sure. They should do what Depop do. When you accept offers on Depop, it doesn't take it off for sale until the person's accepted it and paid for it. So I can't believe eBay haven't implemented something like that, especially when you send out offers or they send you an offer and you accept it, that it should stay on your store until that person's actually purchased it, like Depop does. Like if Depop can do it, then there's no reason why eBay can't do it. And I think they need to implement that sooner rather than later because it's a pain in the ass, and when you accept an offer and then you're like, "Oh yeah, I've just accepted an offer, 50 quid," and then you're sat there for like 2 or 3 days thinking, "Is he going to pay? Is she going to pay? Or is he not?" You know what I mean? Like, just do what Depop do, and that's it. So much easier.
Yeah, definitely. I think Vinted almost, they do it similar, don't they, as well? Like you can send offers, but it won't actually go off until it says sold.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Vinted have done it, and then they're a newish marketplace, but Depop do it, and I just can't understand why eBay haven't done it really. But
they're a bit of a rule to themselves, really, aren't they, eBay?
Yeah.
Adam's in. Hello. Thanks,
Hello,
Adam.
Adam.
Listening. He's driving, I think. Vinny, good. Glad to hear it. These strikes are killing me. Yeah, I think they're killing everyone, to be honest. Question for Kieran again. Junior's got all the questions. She's taken my job away from me, which is fun.
If anyone has any questions, Lynn, let us know.
Are you glad you took the jump from being a part-time reseller working a full-time job to leaving job and full-time reseller? Have you faced any problems since being full-time?
Am I glad? I am very, very glad. It's literally, when people say reselling changes your life, it really, 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 really does. It's changed my life for so much good reasons. It's unbelievable. You've kind of got to think of it in two ways. Like, I'm a person who likes my freedom and my my own time to myself. And if you're tied into a 9 till 5 or whatever, 5 days a week, you don't get that without, you don't get that unless you are full time. So I am so glad that I did it. Have I faced any problems since being full time? Yeah, a lot of problems. A lot of problems out of my control, but and vice versa. But again, if you've got the mindset that you're going to make it work, you'll make it work.
Yeah.
And I've been doing full time now for 2.5, maybe 3 years, and I make more money now than I have ever done in a 9 till 5 job.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't work a 9 till 5 because I worked on the farms, but you're still working.
You're working the job still, though, aren't you?
Yeah. You're still responding to other people. It's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. And if you can do it, then do it, honestly, because it's the best thing. You're almost a full-time shopper. Well,
yeah.
I am, because I don't list half of it. But yeah, it's whatever way you look at it, you're a full-time shopper.
That's the fun part, though, isn't it? Just buying everything.
For sure.
Vinny, lots of people coming into my shop at the moment saying they're worried about buying online due to the strikes. Yeah, I think this is a big factor for everyone at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. The strikes are killing a lot of people off, I think. But you will only have to put up with it until Royal Mail decide to. I don't even know what they're going on strikes for. Probably pay again, I guess.
I think it is, yeah, and it's not like the like the post office staff and that. It's the postmen or the postwomen. That is the postie people.
Yeah, is it?
It's just the postie people, not like the post office staff. And, yeah, and I think it's just about like they're just being given more and more to do. For less and less and less, like everyone really.
Yeah, have you seen the pictures and videos that are going around with all the unsorted stuff, like unsorted parcels that are like in their massive warehouse?
No, I don't think. No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my days! Honestly, you wouldn't see anything like it. There's literally like crates of parcels just like in the sorting office, like not even touched. Yeah. And you wonder why things are so far. Like, I've ordered stuff 2 weeks ago that have not even arrived, but everybody's in the same boat, aren't they? So like, it doesn't matter. Like, obviously, we're all resellers as such, so we're sending it out, but we're obviously probably buying as well for Christmas.
Yeah,
so everybody's in the same boat, aren't we?
I was chatting to a guy who's a postman, and he said like sometimes they can't finish their round, but they've got to try and help other people finish theirs. So all the stuff that like they should have got out, say like on the Monday, then goes out again on the Tuesday. Like, quite often they have to bring stuff back with them because their rounds are so big now. They can't get everything out.
Yeah. It's like it with all couriers, though, isn't it? Like, with Royal Mail being on strike, that means everybody's probably taking on more parcels, which means that everybody's in the same boat, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
Just because Royal Mail goes on a strike, it has a knock-on effect with other couriers because they are taking on more work, like, and parcels are going missing left, right, and centre. But
yeah,
if we can all get through this Q4, I think we'll be all right. I think it's probably been the hardest Q4 since I've done it full time because of the strikes.
Yeah.
But if we can get through it as a community, if we can, then
I'm going to say something like a little bit controversial now.
Like,
I do agree with the strikes, but I don't think I agree with striking over Christmas. I think that's like a little bit too far.
Yeah, but they've been doing it now since like October, haven't they?
Hey?
They've been striking since October, Royal Mail,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and they've had strikes like virtually like every month.
I don't
And
get it.
I agree with striking, but I think just over Christmas a little bit. No.
Can you imagine if the NHS went on strike over Christmas?
Well, it's funny you say that, Kieran.
Oh God, no.
Nurses are going on strike on the 15th and the 20th, and yeah, so
So what happens to all the patients that are like under your care? Just get
there
left.
you go. There you go.
They're
Well,
gone.
no, they've got like contingency plans and things like that. Not like absolutely everyone's going to strike.
Are
But
you a nurse then, Sophie? Do you work in nursing? Are you going on strike?
I am going to go on strike. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
controversial.
I'm just I'm just doing the one day, but yeah, it's yeah.
What day? 15th or the 20th? What day? What day?
15th I'm doing.
Is there a car boot on that day? Is that why you're striking?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, really, yeah, really, I'm going to the car boot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going on strike today because I'll go to a car boot.
But yeah, they've got like contingency plans, and you know it'll be sorted. And not everyone is either. So we've got Night's Life in. We've also got Jilly B. Thanks for joining. Lisa, I love it so much. Wish I could go full time right now. Me too. We've also got RS in. Question for Kieran: a score prediction for Saturday evening?
Well, I thought I'd get a couple of football questions. I do think England. This is controversial. I think England are overrated. I think England Football Club is overrated. Right, hear me out. But I don't think we're going to beat France. I think it's going to be 3-1, and that depends if Mbappe is back, because I think Mbappe's didn't come to training yesterday or today. But then we've lost Declan Rice as well today, so it's not looking too great either, because I'm not a massive Declan Rice fan, but without him, it just leaves us with a very flaky midfield. I don't think Henderson's really... I don't think he's going to have the legs that France are going to... I think France are going to come out all guns blazing.
Oh yeah.
I think Giroud is... Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan. Giroud is one of the most underrated players in this world. He's unbelievable. And I think he will score twice. I think it's going to be 3-1 France. I think England's quite overrated. Obviously, I'm a massive football fan. I'm a massive England fan. And I just don't think we're going to have the firepower. I don't think... This is controversial as well. I don't think Kane is good enough.
I don't.
In an England shirt, Kane, I don't think is good enough. In a Spurs, it hurts me to say this, but in a Tottenham shirt, he's unreal. In an England shirt, I just don't see it. I think I'd rather have Rashford up top, Saka on the right, Foden playing as a number 10, Sterling on the left or whatever. And then I think Foden number 10 would be perfect.
Yeah. I agree. I think France are more than likely going to win. And I've been saying for the last 2 games actually that Gareth Southgate should have dropped Harry Kane. Like I just don't. He hasn't done a lot for me, really. He hasn't really been there.
Yeah, I don't know,
goal, but
I feel like Gareth Southgate's got his mates. You know what I mean?
I do, and I think he's like that with Harry Maguire as well. He's got like a little pocket of people that he's very loyal to.
Yeah,
and I think that includes Jordan Pickford too. So I think Aaron Ramsdale I rate more than Jordan Pickford. So, but somehow Pickford still is number one.
I think he's got his mates, and to be fair, like in the Euros, we were stupidly unlucky, and if we do manage to beat France, then we can beat anybody. If we can beat France, we can win the World Cup. You know, let's put it this: if we win against France, we will win the World Cup.
Yeah, I think we could as well, but I'm not sure we will. But
I'm sticking 3-1 France. If they have Mbappe, and let me just turn my phone off. If they have Mbappe and we don't have Declan Rice, it'll be 3-1.
Yeah. How much time do you think you each put into your reselling a week? Well, I obviously still work, so I work mine around my shifts. So if I'm doing late shifts, I'll get up in the morning, do like say sell similars or something, faff about with my eBay store, faff about with some stock, generally faff about for a bit, and then if I'm on like an early shift, then I'll come home. If I've sold things in the day, then I'll get it packed, run down to the post office with it, or whatever. So generally, if I do 8 till 4, I'll spend from about 4 till 9 on it each night. And even if that's just doing like social media stuff, I'll do that as well. And then in the mornings before work, if I'm on a late, it's probably like a couple of hours a day, really.
Yeah, I think that's what people don't understand as well. Like, reselling isn't just like eBay, is it? It's like the community side plays like a massive part of it as well. Like, I probably would say I probably work, I don't know. I'm not going to say too much because there's too many people in this chat that I'm in a Facebook group chat with that will probably rinse me for saying anything. So I'm probably just going to say, like, I don't know, 37 and a half hours. We'll go for a standard week, there or thereabouts, okay? I do a lot more sourcing in the day, so it seems to a lot of people that I don't actually do a lot of work, but I do a lot of sourcing in the day, and then probably about 9 o'clock tonight till about 1 o'clock in the morning is when I will start doing listings. So like I'm a more of an evening, a nighttime lister, but it probably seems to a lot of people that I don't do very, very much. But yeah, I'll probably list until about 1 o'clock in the morning every day. Or I'll be sourcing stuff for Amazon, or I'll be, I don't know, doing a YouTube video. People don't realize how long it takes to do YouTube full time as such, and especially with Vlogmas. The editing side of Vlogmas is quick because obviously it's just quicker videos and it's less editing, but it's picking up your phone and having to record like, oh, I'm going here now, and not just go, because you kind of got to keep it like flowy. And sometimes I have to re-record a whole clip because I didn't like the lighting, or my beard was slightly out of place, or whatever is going on, or whatever. So actual listings, I probably do about probably like 7 hours a day. Shut up, you lot in the chat. You're obviously mugging me right off here. I can't stop looking at the chat. I'm just going to say 7 hours a week because that'll keep the chat happy because they're on it. But 10 hours, 20 hours, if that. But yeah, I can't say too much about how much I work, Sophie, because everyone knows that I don't really do anything apparently. So.
Whatever works for you, Kieran. Whatever works for you. Lisa started using Every as Royal Mail failed to collect on 2 occasions. Just scrolling down a little bit. My screen keeps like flashing like bright white and then back to screening. I don't really know why.
Like ask Santa Claus for a new laptop or whatever you're using, computer, laptop.
Yeah. This is old, actually. I've had this MacBook since about, I think it was like the 2014 one. So it's getting on for like nearly 10 years old, really.
Wow.
Old.
Oh, potato. I get called potato all the time. That's to think that 2014 was nearly 10 years ago. What the?
I know. Mental, isn't it?
Don't say that ever again.
What,
that's horrible, isn't it? 2014. 10. Freaking hell. Wow.
Ambulance staff going on strike too. Yes, they are. It's a very, very scary time.
So in the nursing world, right? Is it like parties as such, as like the school unions? Is it some sort of like unions that are going on strike, or is it like the whole?
So basically, what happened? So obviously we're all with unions, and a vote was passed to be able to go on strike. They have to reach. So they put out the motion base saying to go on strike, and in order for them to have the strike, they have to pass 50% of the votes. They have to get more than 50%.
Yep.
And they did that for almost every trust in England, and virtually all of them voted yes. So each trust has to then gain 50% of a yes. And then because so many as a whole said yes, then they go on strike. So yeah.
So not only we've got nurses going on strike, we've got Royal Mail going on strike, we've got the energy bills going up. England's screwed.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so.
Oh, now they're talking about me not liking potatoes.
Yeah. You don't like potatoes? That's mental. What? So you don't like chips?
Nope. So I don't eat chips. I don't eat like burgers either. I don't know. I just never have done. Obviously, I keep saying it, but like, I used to work in the farming industries. And I wasn't a farmer. I was like more like a seed specialist. So we would go out and like breed different types of vegetables. And the worst one to do was potatoes because it was so hard to breed because the genetics behind a potato is just screwed basically. And the amount of chemicals and the amount of stuff that goes in potatoes is ridiculous. Like,
wow, really?
like, and you don't. Obviously, I've seen it, and I don't know. It's not put me off, but I just don't like eating potatoes.
You've seen like behind the scenes, and
Kind of. I wouldn't use it as an excuse because like I'll just get rinsed for it. But yeah, I'm just gonna say I don't like potatoes because there's a lot of stuff that goes into them. The breeding side of things is just, and people didn't realize you can breed vegetables, but that was my full-time job for 6 years. So
yeah,
trust me.
yeah. I mean, I just thought you planted them in the ground and they grew. Like I didn't realize.
No, like farmers would want. Farmers would they would want like, I don't know, say purple carrots or something because Morrison's want purple carrots. So they've asked the farmers if they can grow purple carrots. So then here comes the purple carrot story that I've said plenty of times, and the group's going to hate me for it. So then they'd go to the breeders. Can you breed us a purple carrot? We'll go yes or no. Yes, we can. We'll just have to genetically breed a carrot with a purple dye as such or whatever. I'm not going to go too much into it because I can't remember what the actual things are, but whatever. But yes, Tam and Bell, I did say I used to breed, not with vegetables, I used to breed vegetables.
Breed with vegetables.
This chat is going to kill me. I need to get off.
Lisa, you bought some of the lights you were on about.
Oh, sweet! I should have done an affiliation link, Lisa, so I got some money off your purchase. I just sent you just a normal link off Amazon. Damn it! See, failed. That's a flop. That is a flop.
There you go. Thanks. I got it from a charity shop. It says my sons don't like potatoes. I find that mental.
Am I your son? Imagine if that was my dad.
I'm just scrolling, Mo guys. Wow, that is just crazy. I'm just shocked about the whole potato thing.
That chat up line killed me. Yeah, trust me, I didn't use any seed specialist stuff when I was chatting up a bird. I've never done that, so don't worry. I'm not going to go up to someone and go anything to do with that. It's interesting though. It's an interesting job for sure.
Yeah, it sounds it.
But I enjoyed it, and now I do this full time, and I'll never go back.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, thanks, Kieron. I think we've been on for about an hour now, so usually try and keep us like an hour most, because I expect people get a bit bored, like seeing our faces. Otherwise,
Is everyone bored? Everyone's like, yeah, just go, yes,
So thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks, guys, in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to mine or Kieran's channel, then please do subscribe. We've got one last question, actually, that's just popped down here, so we'll just do that one quickly. Did you see my?
I got away with this one.
Who's your favourite reseller?
I don't have a favourite. There's no favourite resellers. I think that sounds big-headed. Could you? Yeah, me. I'm my favourite reseller. No, there's loads of different favourite resellers for different reasons. I think as a community, I think the favourite thing is the community. My favourite thing is the community that is built around reselling. I think when times like this, because they are difficult, whether people like it or not, we just need to stick together. And I don't see anybody as competition. I see everyone as as a friend, and if there's any questions outside of this thingy, then obviously talk to me or talk to Sophie or whatever. I'm sure she feels the same. But I've got a cracking Facebook group, with the likes of me, Ricky, John, James, Jack, and all that. And we're all here to help her as much as possible. But there is no favourite reseller, I'm afraid. Sorry, Junior. I'm not gonna say my favourite, but there isn't any, so that's why I'm not saying anything. But there's a lot of people that think that I am that they are my favourite, but you're all wrong.
I think one of these people is Vinny thinks that.
If I ever have a Pokemon question card or Pokemon question, Vinny, you then become my favorite for the day or whatever. But I think everybody has their own niches, and I think that's what's good about the community.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's good that it is quite an open community, isn't it? Everyone does kind of chat and help each other.
So, yeah, I think that's a good thing as well. I think it's a positive thing. Some people say there's toxicity in the community, but you're going to get that wherever you go. But there's always nice people in and around. But yeah, if anyone has any questions outside of the stream, then drop us a message on Instagram.
Nice.
Sure.
Right. Thanks so much, Kieran. We will.
Thank you very much for having me.
For the second time.
Sorry, I went on a tangent. I talk too much. I talk so much.
No, that's fine. I totally missed Juna's last question, so I felt bad. So I'll pop that one on. So subscribe to our channels. Please follow us on Instagram, and Kieran's got a new video out today, so go check that one out.
He has a lovely heart. No worries.
He's got.
Thanks for having me, Sophie.
I don't know how I feel about that, really. Right then, we'll end the stream now. Thanks so much, guys. Catch you in the next one.
See you lot in the next one.